Good people YouTube, I'm the Watch Idiot, and I don't often do reaction videos on new releases, but when I do, it's because it directly relates to me and my collection or my obsessions within the watch world. So yeah, as a guy who loves dive watches and GMTs and has 3 SKXs, yeah, when this week Seiko finally released what's essentially an SKX GMT, I pretty much lost my mind. And yeah, I mean, it's got pretty much everything I could want in an SKX. I mean, it's got the classic SKX look, it's got the awesome looking solid like bracelet and the GMT. I mean, what more could you possibly need? Yeah, I really do think that this SSK can be the watch to finally win back some wrist time against my Black Bay Pro, which is saying a lot. So in this video, I'm gonna go over some of the specs, why I love this new release, and what I'm looking forward to and not looking forward to when I do get it. So yeah, let's just get into it. Also, this video is not sponsored by anyone, but I ordered mine with my own money through Scott at Moyer Fine Jewelers in Carmel, Indiana, which I'm really thankful for, just because I know that this watch, you know, all 3 variants are going to sell out pretty quick. And yeah, I think they're pretty much all gone in Sakura last time I checked. But yeah, I also get to have an international warranty that isn't just valid in Japan like the watches that are imported in from Japan. And that might be helpful actually down in the long run, since we are dealing with a brand new movement in this SSK here. So if you're interested in the SSK or any of the Seiko's new releases, or literally any other watch that they have, he can help you out. Just email him at scott@moyerfj.com is down over here, and also that his information is in the description. And also make sure that you let him know that I sent you by putting the Watch Idiot in the subject line, and he'll help you out from there. And then yeah, hopefully then the channel can you know, get some review units of some watches, and that will just be more awesome content for all of you guys over here. Okay, so why do I love it so much? I mean, basically it's the perfect version of the SKX for me. And yeah, I mean, if I were to do some, you know, crazy mods and like some full-on watchmaking adding complication, I would end up with something like these SSKs. And you know, as much as I love my SKXs and you know how they look and feel on the wrist, you know how they look like the embodiment of Seiko's last golden generation of, you know, great value, they came with one absolutely glaring problem, and that was that the terrible 7S26 movement. But yeah, fast forward to right now, the big news here is that we've got a brand new GMT movement in the 4R34, which has hacking seconds and hand winding, thank God. And also alongside that, it's a color GMT, which means that the 24-hour GMT hand is the hand that is independently adjustable. I mean, for me, GMTs end up being near perfect when they have a rotatable bezel, which, you know, this has, of course, but yeah, that's because I can then use it to time things when I want. And it's also got a 24-hour chapter ring, which means that I can swap in a timing bezel and I can still easily track a second time zone, which is, you know, as much as I really need. And yeah, and just in general, I mean, based off the pictures, I really like the look of the dial with that sunburst finish and the silver surrounds on the indices. You know, I'm pretty sure that both of those are gonna really elevate the watch. So yeah, I'm really loving this watch, you know, if you couldn't tell already. And yeah, I love that it's part of the Seiko 5 family because it keeps the price down, because yeah, I really don't think that I would have bought it if it was a pro specs watch and it cost like over $1,000. Okay, so what am I looking forward to when I finally get it? And yeah, the first thing that I want to see is how the bracelet feels and wears on the wrist, because Seiko is capable of making a good and comfortable bracelet, but my latest experiences with their off-the-shelf bracelets, you know, haven't been that great. I mean, the SNE 569 is super comfy, but it's pretty irritating that it's got a, you know, hollow end links, albeit that those hollow end links are literally the most solid hollow end links that I've ever felt in my entire life. Then the SPB 143 bracelet was just a little bit too chunky. It pulled hairs, and also had a giant end link gap, and then also the SSC 813 bracelet just didn't go with the design of the watch, and yeah, the finish was a little bit off, and it also had a pretty sizable end link gap. But yeah, in the live pictures from monochrome, the SSK bracelet seems to not have those gaps in the end link, and yeah, it looks pretty svelte as well. Yeah, I'm just hoping that it ends up feeling like the strap code 5-link bracelet that I have, because you know, that one feels super silky, and actually the next thing I'm really excited to do is try it on my many SKX straps and bracelets, because that can open up a whole new world and continue on with new combinations. I am really excited to see, you know, whether or not the SKX bezels are compatible with it, and I'm almost certain that they will work, just because it would cost less for them just to keep the specs the exact same. But yeah, considering the sneaky stuff that Tudor did with the T-Fit bracelet on the Black Bay Pro, anything is possible at this point. But yeah, I mean, just in general, I'm really excited to see what the mod community is going to do to the SSK. I mean, especially with that movement. I mean, I've already got a lot of ideas of what I would want to do with mine, you know, at some point, but I mean, I'll just wait a little bit more until the mod parts are a little bit more readily available. And finally, I'm actually loving that the GMT function is a collar GMT function, and by that I mean that the 24-hour hand is the hand that is independently set, as opposed to the hour hand being independently set, which is usually called the flyer GMT when you travel. And yeah, I mean, saying that one is a good GMT and the other one is bad really doesn't make sense to me, just because they're GMTs for different functions. I mean, nowadays I don't travel very much, but I do like keeping track of different time zones, so it's easy for me to set the 24-hour hand whenever I want to, like LA, and then just whenever I want change it to London, Dubai, wherever it may be, and I can do that without having to reset the timekeeping and things like that. And yeah, changing the 24-hour hand to a different time zone on a supposedly real GMT with a jumping local hour hand is a huge hassle, especially for my current use right now, and it just doesn't work well. And but you know, when I do travel, it'll be great. So it just depends on what I'm doing. So there's not much that I'm not looking forward to, or you know, things that I don't like, you know, initially. But I guess the main thing that I will miss not having here is a day wheel. And I know that on a GMT, it pretty much has to be only a date, you know, because it's linked to the GMT function. But still, you know, one of my favorite parts of my SKXs is that bilingual day wheel. And yeah, on my 007, I love that it's got the Arabic day wheel. It looks so cool and different seeing it there. And then on my other ones, I've got, you know, a Spanish day wheel, and it's just really fun to see it looking over there in different colors and things like that. So the new SRPDs happen to have kanji day wheels, which is probably one of my favorites, and that's seriously cool. And to me, it kind of feels like I'm missing out on getting a SKX with a kanji day wheel, but life moves on, I guess. I mean, we got a GMT hand in its place, so I'm happy with that. Happy days. Speaking of the date window, I'm not really a fan of the Cyclops at all. You know, I'm sure it'll be helpful when in use, but yeah, I would have much preferred it without a Cyclops. You know, that being said, this also could be a case of the date window being a little bit offset from the rest of the indices, just a little bit inwards. And at which point, you know, having a Cyclops sometimes does help, you know, even things out. So yeah, if that's the case, then yeah, I am all for the Cyclops, because I would much prefer everything looking to be where it's supposed to be. So yeah, there you have it. Yeah, let me know what you think about this release, you know, down in the comments, you know, if you love it, hate it, or if you want to get it, don't want to get it. And if you do want to get it, contact Scott at More Fine Jewelers, just because he's awesome. And yeah, his information is down in the description, and let him know that I sent you there by putting the watch idiot in the subject line. So yeah, so that hopefully the channel can get some watches in for review, and I can make some awesome content for all of you guys. And yeah, so yeah, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the like button while you're at it. And yeah, until the next video, good day.